feel like the Guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom. As long as she has people around who are yes people and know that she's not getting the help that she needs or getting better. She looked confused and she looked skinny.
When she put out those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down and it looked like some gay act that was going on, he got on the phone. He said, let me tell you this. When I get back to New York City, if she's on the radio station, he's talking to a radio executive. When we got back to New York City, Wendy Williams was in Philly at a new station.
Wow.
That's the power he had.
Oh, I never knew that, so that's why Wendy Williams got fired.
Yes, because she exposed pictures of him having a homosexual affair in Mexico, but she had a website.
Did you hear about Wendy Williams flipping out? The gossip is wild. Apparently Diddy, yes, that Diddy, tried to make a move on her 16-year-old son. Now, we all know Wendy doesn't mess around when it comes to her kid. Word on the street is she's ready to go all out. But what exactly did Diddy do to push Wendy to this breaking point? Stay tuned. Things are about to get heated.
He's have enough money to
He
check.
put the boots to that girl. She's supposed to be a good bitch. No matter who she with. All the time he putting a groom in her. Of course he thought it was still gonna work. He thinks he's God.
Alright.
He ain't doing shit. I raped the f out of that bitch, put the boots to her last time I seen her. Her and her trainer, boyfriend, husband. I don't get no.
So you hear about stories of Diddy like shooting people,
Yeah.
blowing up cars.
Yeah.
Is he this gangster that behind the scenes that is that him or is that people
Shout
around
out to Wendy Williams, the first woman to uncover the homo thugs. That's what these down low bitches was called when Wendy first started talking about it in the 90s, the homo thug. She talking about Diddy.
And then what's the stuff that's happening with Wendy Williams? You think this is all connection to?
Of course. They've been waiting. He's been waiting. He was waiting for Kim. Remember? He was waiting. The casket was ready. She was literally casket ready.
Let me tell you about Wendy Williams. She's not just some TV personality throwing shade and spilling tea. When it comes to her son, she's a mama bear with claws out, ready to protect him at all costs. Remember when she used to bring her little boy on her show, looking all sweet and innocent, getting the crowd all excited? Well, that was then, and now he's 16. At that age, boys think they're grown and getting into all sorts of trouble. But Wendy, she's not having it. Lately, she's been staying out of the spotlight, and there's a reason for that. Mama knows the dangers out there, and she's not about to let her son fall into the wrong hands. Wendy's got eyes everywhere. She's got people all over the industry keeping tabs on him, who he's talking to, where he's going, what he's doing. If something's going down, Wendy will find out. But when she found out about Diddy, oh girl, her reaction could have melted steel. Wendy was livid asterisk. You know how she gets when she's ready to spill some major tea on her show? Imagine that, but 1,000 times more intense. Wendy's been in the game long enough to know all the dirty secrets and scandals that never hit the tabloids. She's seen how some of these big stars treat young talent. So when she caught wind of Diddy getting too close to her son, well, you can imagine the storm that's coming.
Some people are saying the whole Wendy Williams documentary that she's pretty much allegedly playing this way to keep herself safe from him, from any unaliving.
It's been working for Orlando Brown. Why wouldn't it work for Wendy?
To play crazy.
Why wouldn't it work?
Hey, no. Hey.
The oosh gosh whoosh wash. Orlando's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all spent time with him.
We did.
Yeah.
He's highly intelligent.
Yes.
Imagine what it's been like to wear this character for this long.
No. I can only...
That he does is a character. Actually, the shit he does online is the best acting he does.
Is he speaking truth?
Of course he is.
Yeah, no. We seen Quiet on set.
Major paying his ass. Literally. Since he was a kid.
Man.
And then eating milk, running the fuck around, talking about expensive pain in his ass.
Wait, this is Philly you're talking about now. Wait a minute, Jack.
Fuck me.
Wait a minute.
He's a fucking Fruit Loop. He Diddy fried.
This is Philly.
He's a deep fried. Period. He Diddy fried. He Diddy fried. He the Diddy Do our bop. Fuck me. Real rap.
You think that audio that they put out was real?
Yeah, that was him. Nicki put that out there. That Nicki recorded that at the freak off in the Calabasas.
Man.
She been waiting to drop that shit on Meek.
Oh, man.
She just wasn't gonna tell nobody it was Diddy. But now that Diddy out there, why not?
So then who's the guy who's claiming he recorded it?
Oh, somebody that got paid?
Yeah, he said like I was standing
somebody
outside the
that
door.
got paid.
Yeah.
Just like it wasn't seminal fluid that Justin Bieber was wiping away from his mouth when he brought his face up from Odell Beckham's groin in a club with Trey Songz on the lookout.
The images are there.
Diddy five.
Wendy Williams isn't playing when it comes to her kid. Whether you're a nobody or a superstar like Diddy, she'll drag you through the mud and leave you picking up the pieces while she sits on her purple throne sipping tea. But what exactly did Diddy do to get Wendy this fired up? That's the million-dollar question. The streets are buzzing with rumors, but you know how it goes. Everyone has a different story. Some say Diddy was just being friendly, while others think he had bad intentions. What's clear is whatever happened was enough to make Wendy completely lose it. And when Wendy loses her cool, you know the whole world will find out. She's about to spill some hot tea, and trust me, you'll want to hear it. After Wendy's done, Diddy might need more than his usual swagger to recover from this one.
Sexual era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now. So,
well, if there's one thing Wendy watchers are missing, it has got to be Wendy Williams' perspective on everything that has happened to Diddy. Right now, she'd be in her chair going something like, clap if you are shocked. But didn't she try to warn us, though, about people like Diddy and JayZ?
it's quite honestly, I think that this is the kind of couple that will stay together because it's good for business and because they don't want to disappoint us.
That's facts right there. I wish they would put like the year she said this, so you guys can see how long she's been talking about this stuff. I've always got a weird vibe from JayZ and Beyonce, though. Always. I just couldn't put my finger on it.
You've heard of Diddy's empire, but have you noticed what's lurking in the shadows? The gossip is getting hotter than a summer sidewalk, and it's not just about his music anymore. We're talking young talent, wild parties, and pressure so intense, it'll make you stop and think. You think you know Diddy, right? The man's been in the game for years, making hits and building his empire like no one else. He's got the swagger, the charm, and that nobody can touch me attitude. But behind all the glitz and glamour, the whispers are growing louder about how he treats young talent. We're hearing stories that'll send a chill down your spine. Fancy parties where things get a little too wild. Young artists dealing with pressure that feels like a ton of bricks. And trust me, it's not just the usual industry drama. We're talking about stuff that'll make you raise your eyebrows so high, they might just fall off. And this isn't just some random gossip. Big names in the industry are starting to side-eye Diddy. People who once praised him are now keeping their distance. It's like they know something's off, but no one's brave enough to speak up. In this business, everyone's got their secrets, and no one wants to be the one to spill first.
Reportedly are trying to figure out a way to split without divorcing. In other words, a hood divorce.
Beyonce's true age, check.
Well, what is her true
true age.
Miss Wendy Williams may be owed a big apology because she got the most backlash for talking about this. And we are going to be breaking down everything she said.
What's the tea? Well, spill it. Here I go.
For starters, back when Charlamagne the God was Wendy's radio co-host in 2009, Wendy invited former Bad Boy rapper Mark Curry on her show to talk about his book, Dancing with the Devil, How Puff Burned the Bad Boys of Hip Hop. The devil in this case was obviously Diddy. And during the interview, Mark said, "This is a man that has a shadow of things that follow him, and it will rain on you too. So it's really all about the dark cloud." He also said a few more things referencing Diddy, and one thing was clear throughout. Wendy agreed with everything he said. The other thing is that Wendy did have a lot to say about the relationship between Diddy and Cassie, mostly because she felt like there was a balance of power issue between Diddy and Cassie that was always in Diddy's favor and never in Cassie's.
Look at her face,
You know, my
man.
thing about when you date a mogul is that it's really difficult to avoid them, because if you use your head, you never know when they're going to pop up on the scene. Like he's mogul, like he can hire a plane right now, zoom it to South Africa, land on the roof of the hotel where she's staying, okay? Pay people off at the front desk, give me the key and let me up in her room. Like I'm already paranoid as a person. But to know that somebody could actually swoop down on me in the middle of nothing would scare the bejesus out of me.
Now, isn't this something that came up very strongly in the lawsuit that Cassie...
You know, it's crazy too, like she's saying that stuff and you kind of hear like the audience laughing. You know, I know she's not saying it as a joke. She's really talking about like, this is the capabilities, what they can actually do. But people kind of like, their natural reaction, the first reaction is to kind of laugh about it. And then you kind of sit there and you like, well, damn, she ain't lying. You know, I think that's a lot of the fear factor there.
Here's the real tea. Diddy's been on a mission to sign young artists left and right, like he's collecting them. We're talking barely out of high school, fresh-faced talent. You might be thinking, what's wrong with that? He's just doing business. But the way he's going about it is raising major red flags. It's like he's got an agenda, and not the good kind. So why is he so eager to scoop up these young talents? That's the million-dollar question. Some people say he's just trying to stay relevant in a young man's game, but others are whispering about darker motives, the kind of stuff that makes you want to lock up your kids and hide the key. Now, it looks like Diddy might have set his sights on Wendy Williams' son. Can you believe it? Thinking he could just waltz in and grab Wendy's baby boy like it's no big deal. But honey, he picked the wrong mama to mess with this time. Wendy's not the type to sit back and let her son get caught up in whatever Diddy's got going on. When Wendy found out, it was like a volcano erupting. She's ready to burn down the whole industry to protect her baby. And Diddy? He's about to learn that all the money and power in the world can't save you when a mama bear like Wendy's on the warpath. The streets are saying this drama is just getting started, and trust me, it's going to be a wild ride.
In the lawsuit, Cassie described in detail how Diddy was prone to uncontrollable rage, and he subjected her to savage acts in which he punched and stabbed her, how she was admitted on several occasions, how she lost her memory because of how much Diddy used to lay hands on her, how she wanted to unalive herself, and how Diddy was forcing her to hook up with a succession of male hookers while he filmed the encounters. Near the end of the relationship in 2018, Cassie also accused Diddy of forcing his way into her home and forcing himself on her. Based on what Cassie said, Diddy brought her into his extravagant, fast-paced, and fueled lifestyle not long after she met him and signed to his label when she was 19 and he was pushing 40. So the power dynamic that Wendy was talking about was definitely there. Moving on. For those who recall, Diddy also tried to get even with Wendy and had her blackballed because of what she was exposing about him being on the DL. I mean, in her 2004 book, The Wendy Williams Experience, Wendy herself wrote that she had a certain level of contempt for Puff because he single-handedly tried to ruin her career. Wendy also claimed in 2005, during her radio show, The Wendy Williams Experience, that she was almost jumped by the girl group Total, who was signed to Diddy's record label Bad Boy Records. And she recalled the alleged moment and hinted that Diddy was involved during a 2019 episode of her talk show.
I'm rapping in my headphones and I'm going downstairs. My new boyfriend at the time, the bad Kevin, he was picking me up. But no, this is when he was the good Kevin, right? So I'm walking in the elevator with my intern at the time, Skeletor, but look, I'm like, why is everybody looking down at the sidewalk? I mean, noses were pressed to the glass. And I get downstairs and find this girl group jump out of a gypsy cab to come after me, to kick me. And I'm like, for what? You know what I said was true. You all are broke and you were living in the projects. And that was that. But the point I'm making is, you know, Amanda, you shouldn't have I didn't get back on the radio and talk about it. What I did was desire to do better so I can have a purple chair and talk about it right now and then have the whole scene play out in the Lifetime movie.
As a matter of fact, Wendy also suggested that Diddy was behind her firing from radio during a 2013 interview with Vlad TV when she talked about how her firing revolved around her speculation about a certain hip-hop musician.
We come from a very homosexual era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such, and now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now.
Okay, so you thought you knew what went down, but let me spill the real tea. It all started at one of those fancy industry parties, the ones where champagne's flowing like water and everyone who's anyone is there, trying to be seen. Wendy's son was feeling himself that night, thinking he was all grown up, rubbing elbows with the big shots. But little did he know, things were about to take a turn. Enter Diddy, looking sharp and owning the room. Word on the street is, Diddy spotted Wendy's son from across the way and made a beeline straight for him. Next thing you know, they're chatting like old friends. Diddy was laying it on thick, talking about music, the industry, and all the opportunities he could offer. You know how Diddy is, charm and swagger all the way. But this wasn't just a friendly conversation. Oh no. Diddy was working him like a pro, trying to get the boy starstruck and interested. Here's the real tea. Diddy was dropping names left and right, talking about all the young stars he's worked with, making it sound like he could make all the kids' dreams come true. That's when things started to get sketchy. Word is, Diddy started pushing to get the boy alone, suggesting they go somewhere quieter and meet some of his people. Now, I don't know about you, but that's when my alarm bells would be ringing louder than a fire truck.
Puffy! You had me speeding through numerous traffic lights, doing in a nightclub. You remember, you had me do the perp walk and spend a few hours in jail.
Ever seen the interview Wendy Williams did with Kareen Superhead Steffens after she released her book? Kareen was basically one of the first people to expose Diddy when she talked about how Irv Gotti pretty much passed her off to Diddy because he was asking about her when they went to his party. She said in her book that there was a lot of use at the party and that she and Diddy ended up hooking up. But Diddy also wanted a man involved, if you know what I mean. Kareen then said that months later, she ended up hanging out with Exhibit, and she runs into a Diddy party again, and they notice a lot of gay activities at the party. According to her, Diddy was on drugs and paranoid that she was going to expose their sessions. Best believe that when Superhead did her interview with Wendy, Miss Wendy was asking all the right questions. Right now, I know y'all can hear Wendy saying, clap if you think Diddy is guilty. Now, when it comes to JayZ, Wendy was also pretty vocal about him supposedly hooking up with younger women like Foxy Brown, for instance. Foxy and JayZ collaborated on numerous occasions throughout the 90s, and Jay actually wrote several songs on Foxy's debut album, and the things that JayZ had Foxy singing were just insane. Tell me why this grown man had a 15-year-old recording to a song with a hook like "Ain't no end like the one I got, no one can F you better, sleeps around but he gives me a lot, keeps you in diamonds and leathers, friends tell me I should leave you alone, tell the freaks to find a man if they're wrong." JayZ also literally wrote that he was running after Foxy Brown in her song Il Nana. He did not rap in the song, but he is the one who wrote that part of the song. First the mansion, then the yacht, sound proper, straight cash, got bloodhounds trying to hunt down the brown fox. Well, the rumor is that JayZ was 27 hooking up with Foxy at 15, and this is something that Wendy openly spoke about.
When Foxy and JayZ had
I'll Be. Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay, Foxy was the star of that. JayZ was standing in the corner, wringing his hands, talking about, okay, all right, what do I do next? And then, you know, this was allegedly a romantical thing. It's all right, I'll say alleged, but we know. Yeah, she hit it before Beyonce.
Allegedly.
Other than that, there were also reports saying that Jay was also funding Foxy's shopping trips and paying for her hair and nail salon visits while she was still in high school. In fact, people who went to school with Foxy say that JayZ used to pick her up when she went to school, and according to them, Biggie Smalls used to pick her up too, but they were legit friends. But everybody knew that her and Jay were together. So there's also this wild rumor that there's even tape out there of Jay and Foxy getting down and dirty with Jamie Foxx. And JayZ made Foxy sign multiple gag orders after she, Jamie, and Jay engaged in a threesome. Coincidentally, not long after the incident, the tape was ironically stolen from her home. And other than the allegation that they engaged in a threesome, there were also rumors that JayZ even gave Foxy an STD, allegedly. Wendy knew, guys. She knew. And it wasn't just Foxy Brown, by the way, because the streets have been saying that some of the things Diddy is being accused of, JayZ has also participated in.
Saw JayZ.
Yeah.
And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all those records together. They both, Aaliyah. They shared so much in common.
Yep, that's Jaguar Wright, who, by the way, has also been doing a lot of whistleblowing, and y'all have been calling her crazy. Anyway, when it comes to JayZ, remember Nas also suggested that JayZ knew what R. Kelly was doing with some young women, especially Aaliyah, and he told Wendy Williams during a radio interview when the tape of R. Kelly leaked, I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about and made fun of it and show pictures of Jay hanging out. You can't tell me that Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come into the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. You gonna tell me he didn't see no 14-year-old girl come into the vicinity? So if the feds are trying to get Diddy for illegally transporting young women across borders for you know what, maybe they should also be looking at JayZ, because the way he's being mentioned together with Diddy and R. Kelly is a little sus. Plus, even when we talk about JayZ's wife Beyonce, things just don't add up. You see, JayZ and Beyonce try to convince the public that they started dating when Beyonce was 19, but people from back in the day say that they were together when Beyonce was much younger. Somehow, JayZ managed to make sure that Beyonce stayed with him and even got married to him. But have y'all ever heard the details about how he has been and controlling Beyonce for years? Allegedly. Baby, what Wendy Williams was trying to tell us was that all these people, Diddy, JayZ, R. Kelly, they are all the same. And just like she said, everything is coming full circle. R. Kelly and Diddy are already facing the consequences of their actions, and I can bet that it's only a matter of time for JayZ. And the skeletons will definitely come out. But what do you think, guys? Does Wendy deserve an apology for all the backlash she got for being a whistleblower? While at it, let me know how you think she would have reacted to Diddy's arrest in the comments section below.
Again, man, the number one thing, like, again, you look at Cat Williams. You know, they try to make you look crazy. And that's the first thing people say. Oh, she crazy. Hell no, y'all believe her? She crazy. This and this. And this stuff come out and they're like, yeah, man. Like when you got money like that, and you're able to give people hush money, like money they thought they would never see in their whole lifetime. You know, and especially when they come from nothing, oh, they ain't gonna say nothing. They ain't gonna say nothing at all. You know, I'm just trying to watch these videos as they come out, man, because I feel like the more you know, like a lot of these people, I feel like, had the chance to distance themselves from certain people, but they chose to stay around them. You know, I'm pretty sure they caught wind of what was going on, but they continued to go to these parties and these, just whatever it was, bump the music, play all, you know. A lot of these people, we're on the outside looking in, you know, but the people who are on the inside, they've known this stuff been going on, you know, and they continue to hang out and support these people. They're part of the problem too. So my whole thing is like, that's why you see a lot of them talking about, I left the parties before stuff got crazy. And it's like, well, I guess we'll find out. Hey, appreciate y'all coming over. Shout out to Wendy Williams again. You know, I always talk about the delivery. People don't like the delivery, you know, because she be so excited to spill what she knows that people be like, oh no, she's just like drama.
Here's where it gets juicy. Someone at that party was watching closely and didn't like what they saw. Next thing you know, they tipped off Wendy. And when Wendy got that call, honey, she moved faster than gossip in a hair salon. Picture this. Wendy burst into that party like a hurricane in heels. The look on Diddy's face when he saw her? Priceless. It was like he'd seen a ghost, only worse, because he knew Wendy wasn't just any mama. She was the queen of spilling tea, and she wasn't about to let this slide. You could hear a pin drop in that room. Everyone froze, waiting to see what would happen next. Wendy marches right up to Diddy and her son, eyes blazing like she was about to set the whole place on fire. Diddy tried to play it cool, but you could see he was shook. But don't think this is where it ends. Oh no, this was just the beginning. Once Wendy got her son out of there, you better believe she wasn't letting this go. Word on the street is, Wendy's ready to bring the whole house down on Diddy. And when Wendy's got dirt on you, honey, you better run and hide because she's coming for blood.
You started the conversation earlier about what did I mean about the power Puff had. With the radio stations in New York, motherfuckers didn't breathe hard if Puff didn't want them to. If Tupac had anything salacious to say about Puff in that interview, and Angie Martinez told Puff or let Puff heard it, and he told them, you can't play it, they wasn't gonna play it. Puff got one of the hottest DJs off of Hot 97 because she wanted to put up a picture of him getting his pants pulled down. You understand what I'm saying? Puff had power.
Speaking of that, right, I'm happy you brought that up. Kirk Burrows, I did an interview with him some months ago, and he told a story about Wendy Williams. She got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy, and she was saying on air that she was going to reveal the picture. If you don't mind, because he told me the story, but he didn't go into detail. He never told me about what was in the picture. So if you don't mind, give me the story from your point of view and what was in the picture, because for some reason, he never went into detail about that.
We were in Cancun, and we were on our way to the Island of Women. You understand? And this is all it was, bruh. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull them down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay porn or something like that. And she was gonna put it out. So they stopped her from putting it out.
And they got her fired from Hot 97 because of that.
Well, I think that we were in California at the time, and Puff was shooting a layout for either Rolling Stones or what's the other magazine? Rolling Stones, it begins with a B. Billboard, right, thank you. He was shooting a layout for either Rolling Stone or Billboard when he had the white suit on. I was the one who put him in the damn pool. What happened was is that Wendy had somehow shown people that email. You hear me? She's showing people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her, you understand, before he got back in New York, that they was not gonna get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was gonna boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. It was over for her.
Girl, you thought Wendy was mad before? Honey, that was just a warm-up. Now she's about to take it to a whole new level. Hell hath no fury like a mother scorned. and Wendy's bringing the heat. The tea is so hot, it could burn down Diddy's empire. You know Wendy doesn't play when it comes to her baby, but this time, she's on nuclear levels of furious. She's always been outspoken, but what's coming next is on a whole other scale. She's not just mad, she's asterisk ready to risk it all asterisk kind of angry. The streets are talking. Wendy's been making calls, sending messages, and letting everyone know exactly what Diddy tried to do. She's got the entire industry on edge. People are scared to even pick up their phones because they don't know if it's Wendy on the other end, ready to drag them into this mess. And get this, Wendy's threatening to expose all asterisk of Diddy's secrets on her show. And believe me, she knows some dirt that could bury a man 6 feet under. Wendy's been in the game for years, and she's got receipts on everyone. The tea she's about to spill will make your grandma's sweet tea taste like vinegar. The industry's shook. People are picking sides like it's a celebrity civil war. You got Team Wendy, ready to burn it all down to protect her son, and Team Diddy scrambling to do damage control before the storm hits. It's like a war is about to break out, and no one knows who will be left standing when the dust settles.
It's about time. Getting the quote here, what's really weird is I've been told by so many people, Wendy, you called it, she told the Daily Mail exclusively, including some people from my family who have said the same. Popular host said she was doing good in the wake of her aphasia diagnosis and her health concerns. That's good to hear. She was horrified at the video of Combs with Cassie in the hotel lobby. As she says, you know how I feel about that. It's about time to see this video on TV of Cassie getting, it was just horrific. But now you have to think how many more times, how many more people, how many more women. It's just so horrible. So again, really nice to see her out there getting justice, if you will. She called this out. She was sort of criticizing him, saying it wasn't really out there. And now it turns out she was merely at the tip of the iceberg. There was a lot more. Now there's another clip that's gone viral featuring Wendy Williams. I don't know how I feel, but a lot of people saw it as her being shaken as almost a threat by Diddy. And now with everything we're learning, yeah, I could see a little bit of where they're coming from. Here's the clip in question.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage, he
did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
You represent a lot.
Now look, at first I'm like, well, yeah, she's just like, oh, thanks for being nice and saying something nice about my kid. But the more we learn about Diddy now, 25 minors, Justin Bieber, Usher, I could see why some people are seeing the way that she stutters, the way that she pauses. Now, granted, she had issues throughout the show. We know that, but still there is a little bit of a, oh, you're bringing my son into it. You're talking about how nice he is. Great. As commenters are calling out, that was a threat. Let's watch it again. What do you think of that?
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage,
he did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
That laugh right there is like, oh God, don't go anywhere near my kid. Don't touch my kid, dude.
You represent a lot.
He sure does represent a lot. And now at the time there was some good. He was trying to, it seemed to do good. There is a little bit about that. But at the same time, now after everything we're learning, this is not a good look. What do you think? I want to hear your comments down below. Do you find that as a threat? Some of the commenters said. A lot of people were in there reporting on it. Some of the reactions, that was a threat. He's saying play nice. Another said the way that she hesitated, you know that she knew about him. It looks like her mind is quickly flipping through all the different horrifying things that could have happened backstage. The way she wanted to say, you stay away from my son. Another said, I can hear her internally screaming. Again, again, we got no proof of that. I got no proof of that, but with everything we're learning, yeah, it does seem like there could be a little bit of that. Now, Wendy Williams aired her final episode in June 2022 after 13 years. Without Williams herself making an appearance. Previously withdrew from the show in 2021. Embarked what was initially supposed to be a temporary leave of absence to cope with her health issues. Some fans have claimed that Williams has still been on the air. She been on the air, she would have highlighted the fact that she warned of his alleged behavior a while ago. And yeah, as we saw that clip, it does look a little bit like a threat. I'm not gonna lie, but interesting to see her finally be able to come forward, break her silence, and admit that it's about time. Look, should we be outing people? Is that really anybody's business? Typically, I would, of course, say no, it's not anybody's business. But the way Diddy then, wanted to sort of use that as a, no, that's not true. When we're learning Diddy, it's clearly true. You were clearly going both ways, if anything. And she was onto something. Now, some people criticized her, saying, how dare you, it's nobody's business which way he goes. But I suspect she was she was just starting to figure it all out and realizing that this man wasn't being honest. That's how I take all this. This man likes to be in control, likes to control the narrative, and the fact that he was able to threaten her off the air, get her fired, it's again shows his controlling, ABUSC. Sorry, I keep spelling things. Guys, I'm happy that we are prepping an uncensored show. It's going to be on our members portion here, our members portion on Patreon. There's so much I want to be able to say that I can't. There's speculation and things coming in, theories that I want to talk about that I feel like don't really fit here on this platform. So please, if you haven't already, consider joining. In fact, I don't know if you can join here. More importantly, you can join over on Patreon because they take less revenue. There's a lot I want to say about this topic and so many more as we're getting into the Diddy stuff without the censoring. So it's coming. Stay tuned. I hope we'll have some more information for you tomorrow during our live here. We're still going to be live here Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm adding a new show where we can actually then talk uncensored with you guys and really get you guys more involved in the conversation, not keep worrying about what I'm saying. I apologize we have to do it here, but this